Well, hello, folks. Welcome to 2026, first full trade week of the month. I know that a lot of people are looking at the different markets. I think we'll go to a live market first, and we'll come back to the slides just to get everybody up to date on what I'm seeing to help you navigate what might be a pretty good second day of the year.
Hey, Chuck, is there any chance you can do the live market part? If you're able to. If not, no worries. Hey, Tom.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Just be 1 second. Let me get that up on this computer. All right, so here's your live market, Tom.
All right, bring up the E-mini if you will.
All right, let's go over to the dashboard. There's your E-mini S&P.
All right, and the high has been what, Chuck?
Well, this says 57 quarter. It's actually been up to 57.75.
Yeah, that's close enough. But if you're
Right.
looking at folks, you've had like Chuck had mentioned, you made a new high. And regardless of what happens the rest of the day, that's important. Now, what is the high and low that we have since we started the year? You have the low number there?
Let's flip over to the swing view,
Mm-hmm.
and you can look at Friday, excuse me, where we
Yeah,
got down to 68, 66.75. And
68.
today,
So
yeah,
today we got 69.57 and 69 or 68. What was it? 65?
68.99.50 is the low today.
No, the low for Friday.
68.67 basically.
Yeah, 68, 67. All right, I think that's important to note that it is moving towards the top end of the range. Now let's look at SLV, and do the same analysis.
All right, so SLV, and we're sitting here on the daily, and we have a low from Friday was 63.53, and we're up to 69.97 today, trying to challenge that 70 level.
Yeah, 69.97. So that's a pretty bullish two things. Let's look at bonds real quick. Why don't you do futures, bond futures, and we'll look at TLT.
All right, so bond futures on the intraday, staying inside Friday's range right now.
What's the high and low?
Friday's high was 115.18. Friday's low 114.28, and we're at 115.06 right now. So
114, you said for Friday?
114.28 was the low.
All right, let's do a couple stocks. Apple, what was Friday's high?
Let's see. For Apple, Friday's high. Actually, I don't have the. Okay, Friday's. Not sure why this is looking this way, but Friday's high was 271.41.
And today's low,
It
or
looks like we're
Friday's low,
running
one's lower,
267.90.
267.90. Okay. All right. And it opened today at 270.64. Apple, if you look at it, it's at 268.83. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Back on the intraday. All right, you said you wanted to look at TLT?
Yeah, look at TLT.
All right, let's move this back over to the swing. And let's see. Been down to 86.96, sitting at 87.26 at the moment.
86.96 and what?
We're sitting at 87.26,
This is low.
low 86.96.
And the high, I'm sorry, I wrote it wrong. 86.96 is the low. And what's the high?
So the high would be 87.59 from Friday.
Okay, 59 to 96. Okay. Let's look at MU. MU.
All right. So with MU,
You got the swing on it.
yeah,
Okay,
the swing's behaving a little bit weird though. I'm not sure what's happening here.
well, how else could you get the high and low?
Oh, we
Go to the
could.
daily, do it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the intraday, we can, see what we've been doing, and we know that the high point has been 327.95, and you go to the low point
Hold on,
from
hold on. The high is 327 what?
327.95.
All right, and what's the low?
Low point coming in, let's see, is that 290? Yeah, 290 was well, that was okay. Yeah, 290 was early morning on the on Friday.
Okay. So 327 to 2 nights had quite a run in the first 2 days.
Yeah, you can see the high and low markers on
Do
the chart here.
NVIDIA.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Nvidia 186.50 on Friday for the low to 193.63 today's high.
Okay, repeat it, please.
186.50 is the low, 193.63 the high.
Okay. All right, folks, what I do is I record that. Let's do the QQQ and we'll quit there. QQQ and SPY, high and low for the 2 days.
All right. And QQQ trading inside of Friday's range. Friday went up to 622.85 for the high and
Yeah.
610.15 for the low.
All right, 615 for the low.
No, 610.15.
Oh, 610. And then what was the high for the QQQ?
622.85.
About 623. Okay, SPY.
See. For the SPY, we have Friday's low is 679.82, today's high, and they're pushing it right now, but 688.80.
So the SPY's outperforming, Chuck.
Yes.
All right, do the SPX.
I think I've got a bad quote in here.
That's a cache, so you got to download the data. What other ways could you get the high and low, Chuck, rather than looking at a chart? What other ways could you get it?
Well, we could do a couple things. Let's see. Go to that's the reference bars, two pass rule,
What
custom
about research
page.
key, Chuck?
Research key would work.
Once you use that, that's the easy and the simplest way.
All right, let's just bring that up in here then. Let's see. And we're going to use, actually, we could just call it anything. Let's call it 2026. Open that up and we'll add a symbol in here. And we'll
Dollar
start.
sign PX and dollar sign XSP. That'd be the last two.
No, it's an SPX and see, just doing one at a time there. But what was the other one?
Dollar sign XSP.
point. And we'll click over to see Daly's only coming in here with the second there, but if we just go through the 30-minute, you can see the highest high. And that would be 69.14.72, the high point.
69.14, and we don't have to do the XSP. 691.40 is the high. What's the low?
Low point is going to be 68.24.31.
68.24, so that'd be 682 would be the low for the XSP. I just moved the decimal over without going through the exercise. But
Yeah.
anyway, the research key is what I would use anytime I'm searching for high and lows because it's pretty easy. I like numbers, easy to see it. Now, so far today, the markets, as Chuck mentioned, has shown a propensity to stay near the high. So let's go to our slides.
All right, Jonathan, you got the slides?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, I'll let you take over projection.
All right. Hey, Tom, Chuck, of course, we know there's risk involved in trading. The new year doesn't change that, does it?
Nope. Always past performance is not indicative, in my opinion. We're in the second day. It's a good second day. We now have the low in place. We made a new high today. We're expanding that number. If you get real excited, you should be, because this is exactly playing into our hands of what we thought might happen. This is the first time we've seen some volume step in. That's good too. That's my opinion. Today, after the close, we'll be issuing our first issue for this year. The newsletter is $9.99 for 1 year access. We also have a Telegram channel I'm going to be more frequent in this year. Got any questions, you call 904-706-3532. Train and trade, we're starting today at 11, and I'm going to check the numbers every day. They got to grow. 188 for me to keep doing this. 188. Tell your friends. Talking Trade is, got such great information. We've grown it to the highest level I think we've had it with membership, with some of the specials we had. But this is something everybody ought to be a part of. You can join for $200 a month, dtitrader.com/TNT. All right, Jonathan, taking through this, will you?
Yeah, the January first 3 days stock. Now, there's a lot of data here because we're in the first 3 days, but what I've done, I'm just going to scroll to the right here and show you that these columns don't mean anything yet above FTD high and low because we're not there yet. We're not finished with the 3 days to start the year. To the far right of, before you get to the gap there, and I'm actually going to throw a little bit more of a gap to separate it. There we go. Don't use that yet. These 4 columns here are the highs from day 1, which are set, and the highs and lows from day 2, which are kind of in the works right now, but I drug them over to the right just because we're lack of space here. We have, if you look at kind of the columns that are highlighted, we've got our stocks, futures and stocks, all the way down to row 36 or 8 or whatever that number was.
Let me just show you something that is very, that's pretty neat. MU took off. Go back to MU. You got MU on here? Okay. Yep. MU took off and soared after, look at day 1. It opened the year at what price? $295. It soared, if you look at
the day one,
and then today it hit a high of 2 or 327, so to speak. But you could tell MU was hot. Okay. That was when it got my attention as it soared. Okay. And you see day one high. What was day one high, Jonathan?
On Micron, it was 315.
Yeah, so 315 up to 325 in day two. It's correcting today if you look at it, but if you take the midpoint from the high and low, the 2-day high, 2-day low, that's normal. You're at 316, and this would be a stock, as we narrow in on tomorrow, which will be a trade day, the third day. You take that high of 295 to 327, let's call it. That's about 30 points. Take about 15, about 310, 312 should be a support area for MU. Keep your eye on that. That's what I would learn by watching it today. Okay, that's MU. I wanted to show that to you because I got, it was one of our top 10. If you look at our top 10, but a lot of these stocks that I picked as top 10 closed near our high on Friday, and I thought we'll give it the benefit of doubt if you go look at it. And I did an honorable mention, I guess, special mention for SLV. Do you have SLV in here? I didn't see SLV. There it is, okay. SLV, if you look at it, and this is something to keep in your mind, the 2-day high is 70. If you go look at your dashboard today, I think 70.19 is the buy area for SLV. But SLV is obviously up 6% today, looking good. SLV. That's going to be a big play that we make. I know in January, it has options expire Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I can tell you tomorrow on live trading, I'm putting the SLV contract out on live trading tomorrow. So there you have it. I can already tell you what I'm looking at for SLV. I'm going to work that 2-day expiration. It's going to be worth a lot of money to you to learn that in live trading. All right, so that'll be our focus tomorrow on live trading. But if you look at the market itself, I think it's a welcome sign to see volume increase. It's a welcome sign to see the QQQ and the SPY to be towards the top of their range, SPY leading obviously, which leads to XSP, which is the trade I taught people Friday afternoon. Be a good trade to look at, with the setup and how we're playing the bullish side of it. So that's a real interesting play going into this afternoon. But I like the way Jonathan's done this, and it's very important that you have the link that you take with you. When he updates it for everybody. So Jonathan, how do they get the link?
I'll post the link in the chat, and it is kind of a juggling act with all the data that we have to get in there, during the 3 days. But once the 3 days is done, it's gonna be
out.
A little bit. It's gonna, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Tom. Great word for it.
I'm so excited about this year, folks. I know you got a lot of gunpowder, ready to chew it up and spit it out there. But we're going to be very disciplined. My goal is to follow this method as close as I can, without letting experience overweigh it, because these numbers work. Jonathan, you did 2 years of the data. You said 90% of the time. Explain that 90% number.
94% of the time over the past 2 years, if the SPY, I just did the SPY, on any month, after it formed a 3-day high and low, if it opened above the high, I consider that a trigger long. I just wanted to know if it triggered long at the end of the month, did the month close positive? Right? Pretty simple. 94% of the time that it triggered, I think it was like 17 out of 18 months it triggered long. Well, of the 18 months it triggered long, 17 finished the month positive. And then, Tom, you asked me to go back further, so I went back 5 years this morning. Went back 5 years worth of data. I think out of the 60 months, 12 times 5, 60 months, 46 of the months it triggered long, and it worked 40 times. So 40 times it triggered, out of the 46 times it triggered long, 40 of those months ended in a positive month. And that was like 87% accuracy over 5 years, much more data.
And one of those years was 2022. And I want you to think about it. That was the year I got everybody short the 5th day of the year. And that's what I'll be talking to Jeffrey Hirsch today about that, because he doesn't know this. And when we bring him on Friday for our, not this Friday, but the next Friday, when we bring him on, y'all start, I'm going to push him to include this in his stock market almanac, okay? Just how valuable it is, because this is something that really takes his 5 days in January and how January goes, his father invented. I'd like to add to it. We call it the Busby factor. So there you go. Anyway, this is a powerful sheet. That's why we take all this time and do it, because a lot of people really lost balls in the high weed. There's gurus out there that don't understand this. You will understand it, and you can run anything that you hear outside of what I say against these numbers. And if you trade to that side, you're going to make money. I mean, who wants to go against those odds is what I'm saying. Who wants to go against those odds? I don't, and it works for stocks too, by the way. You check stocks out accordingly. Any questions about this? This is so valuable. We spend this kind of time on it. It was one of the first top lessons we taught in our home study. Okay. Kendro, the meaning of the pivot number is if we're above that number, you should be long. S&P right now, again, another great call. We're above the pivot number. That's another piece that I give people to help them with their daily direction. I think I'm about 4 out of 5 right with that. Any questions about this? Hey, Art, any questions about this? All right, let's go further, Jonathan. What else we got? Got anything else?
Yeah, how to use the pivot might be a good topic of education and another trade this week or next week.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Sounds good. Now, this is your top 10 for the week, plus silver is an extra mention. And the FTD high is just, Friday's day 1 and up to today on day 2. So that's
Notice AMD is another stock is at 224.5 right now. That's a stock's in play I'm watching now. Okay. And, this is what you do when you're building a portfolio. Okay. This is what you do. Notice I got iBit on here. Why not have iBit on there? Because Bitcoin has about gained back its yearly loss in 2024. If it gets above, it gets about 6% above its opening price, you're going to see Bitcoin be in play again. You can see people are starting to itch because it's appreciating. iBit was a good way to play it. We'll keep our eye on iBit. Joby had a buy signal coming into the day. It's up $1. Show you how powerful that is. And if you look at SLV, was at 67 when he did the sheet. If you look at it right now, SLV is at 69.75. Folks, don't trade without using this information. Okay? Pretty good stuff. Any questions about these 10 tickers we highlight? My only question, if you use the tools of DTI, the roadmap software, you use the MTI by DTI, you use what we teach you, you're going to have a great year. If you choose to be a rebel, shame on you. Don't be a rebel.
And 95,270, Tom, that was the open from last year. Just so everybody knows, on Bitcoin futures, 95,270.
On Bitcoin futures, 95,270.
Yes.
And I've got it right now at 94,420. So once you get above that, Bitcoin's in play. It's going to happen if it gets above it.
Got my alert set. Tom, if it goes off, if you haven't become aware of it yet, I'll let you know.
All right. Now I'm going to review some key insights on DTI's market timing indicator. We call it MTI by DTI. Now, I've gone through, I got it sitting over here. I'm following everything. And I just came off that 25 ticker. The first place I go is look at MTI. Notice above the white lines on the daily equal a bullish swing trade. How do you play a bullish swing trade? Using my Delta 50 strategy, you buy it, and that's how you get some pretty decent returns with very little money with a Delta 50 strategy. You can go down to a Delta 30, be fine. Sometimes a Delta 10 will apply for something that's really hot, maybe like an MU, okay, as an example. But the key insight, notice it's bullish, and you want to be long what you have in there, okay? Now, above the white lines on intraday, short-term bullish. So here's what I do. I play bingo. Match on the daily, I'm long. Look at the short term. When it goes long, that's when I'm doing options. On those, I might consider an option 30 days out is a general rule. Sometimes I come in a little tighter if it's really hot, okay? On the intraday. Everybody understands when they both match, that's where you go. Now notice this green arrow. When that green arrow shows up, you got to be thinking long, and vice versa. If the short area is red shows up, if it's a yellow, you might have some caution. But you get a green arrow on the long, don't fade it. Now, Jonathan, explain the scanners. You got a little bit better understanding. Tom Delager built it for me during Sawgrass, and I use it, but tell him what it's telling us right now.
Yeah, the scanners that I'm gonna zoom in on each individually, but you can see over there, it's color coded green or red on the right, two columns. Green means bullish, of course, and red means bearish. Yellow means it's mixed or, stay out, if you will, or getting close. Actually, the blank boxes like on the S&P here, gold, NASDAQ, that means it's stay out for now. The yellow boxes means it's within 1 point of going active. So something like gold or S&P, if you get between 1 point, you're basically there, ATRs or whatnot. Let's zoom in. The daily scanner indicates whether a stock is above or below the white MTI lines on the daily chart. So if we just cycle back through here to the daily, SLV is clearly above the white MTI lines. So if we had it on the scanner, it would be a dark green box on the daily portion of the scanner. Now, and that's right there. It says dark green equals active buy with the number. You can see a 73.37 in the dark green box there. The number is how many points that stock or vehicle is above its entry point. Dark red, of course, would be the active sell, and the number being how many points below the sell entry point it is. Now, the bright green, or you might see a bright red, that's going to be a new entry on the current day. All right. And it's going to say buy or short, and the number is going to be how far away from the, trigger it is, of course. Once again, number means the same thing. And then the yellow is it's getting close to triggering. Now it is within 1 point. All right. So like on your stocks, once it gets within 1 point of a new buy entry or a new sell entry, it'll say to go L for to go long and 22 cents, like that one right there says. Or it might say to go S for to go short and give you the number, how close it is. Again, the blanks just mean it's not in a buy or a sell signal, and it's not within 1 point of triggering either. So that's the daily scanner, explaining what all that means. Of course, this is on the longer term swing view, daily charts. The intraday scanner is going to be on the 30-minute charts. Now, the color coding, the numbers, they all mean the same thing, whether or not they're above or below the intraday MTI lines, like here on the SPY this morning, right? When that green arrow popped up, it would have been a buy signal. And on the intraday scanner, the SPY would have been a dark green, greater than the entry price there on the intraday charts. So two fantastic sides of the scanner. Depends on your time frame. That's the key thing. Be sure to consider your time frame, and as Tom mentioned earlier, get them both working together. That's going to increase your odds there of catching a trend, which is what we want. How to pull up the scanner is the question from Neil in the chat. It's a great question. If you are an MTI by DTI member, Neil, which I know you are, head over to One Click Trading, log in, search for Market Timing Indicator. And in the Market Timing Indicator section of our members site, you're going to find the codes to install and the instructional videos. I go slow, I go step by step, help you get it installed and up on your Thinkorswim. And I give you a few pointers as well for, better use of the product. Essentially, is what I do on that video. It's a good video. Be sure to watch that. And then once you have it on your Thinkorswim, make sure you go through our masterclasses. We did 5 masterclasses with Tom on MTI by DTI.
Hey, Jonathan, what if they don't have a Thinkorswim broker? Can't they go get a, what do you call it? I don't want to say fake account, but get a simulated account or whatever, and still have the scanner on there, can't you? And you put $50 in there, you get live data.
Right. You don't, just to be clear, you open a normal, brokerage account at Schwab with Thinkorswim. You put $50 in there, and when you log into the Thinkorswim platform, it's the desktop application, not the web-based, but the desktop application. When you log in, you can toggle it over to paper trading. Now, if you do that, Neil, let's say that you have your live account and you've installed MTI by DTI on your live account. If you switch it over to the paper trading, you have to install it again. So just keep that in mind. Whichever side you're on, live or paper trading, you do have to install the indicator on each side separately.
What does it take time-wise to install the indicator?
Well, if you're, real good on the computer, it didn't take about 5 minutes. But like I said, not even that, if you're a real good computer, but like we mentioned, there's step-by-step videos on the member site to help you get it up and running.
And we offer support if you have any question on it. So
Sure.
Don't get hung up because you get confused reading a checklist to install it. But it's pretty easy to do. I'm not a computer guy, but I can do it and time myself. It took me about 2.5 minutes following the instructions.
Yeah, and like Tom said, if you get frustrated, don't let yourself get too frustrated. If you can't get it going, we'll just give us a call. We'll get it going for you.
Be glad to help you. All right, folks, we have lifetime access to it, a special right now, $14.97 for MTI. We're going to play the video, and then I'll be back tonight with my futures people at 7. Any questions before we play this video? This video is very informative, just how valuable it can translate into money for you.